Hi everyone, it's Paulie from OneFarmerRevealed.com again, and I'm going to show you an Alabama jumper. And to preface this, I don't raise Alabama jumpers, but I do get them from a proprietary vendor or Alabama jumper farmer, and they are really great worms and they're lively. And go ahead and come down on this. And I'm going to show you the Alabama jumper, and also I'm going to put a leaf litter worm up to it. And you can see how they just jump right out of your hand. They're very lively. And they are a very meaty type of worm. So if you want to raise these for your pets, I would imagine there's a lot of protein. They're just very firm feeling. They just wiggle right out of your hands. So, and these for Alabama jumpers are a little small because this is 2014 and we get a lot of, we've had a lot of orders this year for all kinds of composting worms, and we've been having to dig down into the beds, and you know, there's just a lot more babies and juveniles down in there. So towards the end of the year, this is the fall, so they start to get a little bit smaller. Now, this is a leaf litter worm, and this is about, I would say, medium size. They get a lot bigger than this. And here's an Alabama jumper that's been handled quite a bit. These guys can still be lively too, and they'll swarm around like these guys just as well. And you'll notice that on the leaf litter worm and on the Alabama jumper, let me get a bigger one, that the clitellum is very smooth, and you can only see it. You can't feel the clitellum or saddle. Now, that's the collar that runs around the worm, and once they have one of those, then you know that you have an adult worm. And all these Alabama jumpers have, you can see a saddle on them. They'll continue to grow. They'll get bigger than this. Let me find a better one. There we go. Right there. And you just can't tell the difference by feeling it. You have to go by sight. And the color of them is a reddish brown on top and a reddish gray on the bottom. And a lot of people will find these out in leaf litters or in their soil. And a lot of people call them Alabama jumpers, whether they live in Canada or North America, northern United States. People say that they've been finding up there. I just want to caution everybody, even though they may look like an Alabama jumper, act like an Alabama jumper, doesn't mean that they are an Alabama jumper. Leaf litter worms can be cousins of the Alabama jumper. So you really don't want to call a worm by its name like that unless you have verified by somebody who's qualified to dissect it and look at it and be able to say, yes, you indeed have an Alabama jumper. Because say you start collecting these and then you want to sell them, and then you're going to sell them as Alabama jumpers, and then later on somebody finds out, hey, I'm selling these also as Alabama jumpers, and they're not Alabama jumpers. So I just want to caution everybody on that. Also, let me show you this worm. The leaf litter worm, like I said, they do get bigger than this, but you can kind of tell it's a leaf litter worm due to its clitellum, because it's smooth and you can't see it. But if you flip it over, if this is the head end, Then right below the clitellum would be 2 male pores. And to my knowledge, the Alabama jumper and the leaf litter worm, they do not have the male pores. Well, I'm not going to say that they don't. They do, they're just not visible. Other worms like the Canadian nightcrawler, a lot of your night crawlers, they have the spaded tail. You can see the 2 male pores, 2 bumps on both ends on the bottom of the worm. But the Alabama jumpers and the leaf litter worms, they do not have them. I tell a lot of people that if you want the leaf litter worm, create a shallow bed with leaves outside, either in your driveway or a patio, something that's got a nice hard floor underneath. It's not absolutely necessary, but it'll be easier when you're trying to harvest the worm. You can see the worm easy, and they can't burrow down anywhere. And you might also find other worms in there, like types of night crawlers. But anyway, I just wanted you to get a good look at the variations between the two. The Alabama jumper and the leaf litter worm, they're sometimes just not very easy to tell apart. So I would say that these Alabama jumpers are much livelier than your typical leaf litter worm. So anyway, that's it, and thanks for watching, and maybe I'll have some more on the difference between the two. So catch you next video.